There. So, hello and welcome to the New Gig podcast. I'm your host, Glenn Hodgson, and today I'm delighted to be joined by relocation expert and founding director of Easy Land On, Dana Even-Chen. How are you doing, Dana?
Hi, Glenn. Thank you. I'm doing well. Thank you for having me. I
It's a
really
pleasure.
appreciate it.
Now, Dana, please give us a little bit of a background on yourself, a bit of your journey from a career perspective, but also the work that you're doing at the moment.
So I moved from Israel 23 years ago to the big city of London. I love it here. Fell in love with the city when I was 16. Didn't imagine I will spend most of my adult life here. So that's first, and I feel extremely lucky. Um, I started working for the Israeli airline. This is what moved me here 23 years ago as an HR manager, where I basically recruited and supported people with their move and all their like the first months of settling in a foreign country, which was a job that I thoroughly enjoyed. But I didn't think I'm going to go and pursue it. I always wanted to be a nurse. I don't know why, but I also wanted to be a nurse.
Okay.
But time passed and things happened and things changed. And I went to uni and I did a degree in fashion marketing and I wanted to work in the fashion world. I did quite a lot of 7 or 8 years, I would say, in TK Maxx for quite some time, head office. It was very enjoyable, very eye-opening about the corporate world, which I never experienced before. But the main thing that I learned, I'm not built for corporate world. That
Okay.
was the most important part in this, that I didn't feel like I am reaching my full potential. My self-fulfillment wasn't reached, wasn't met, and I felt like I needed a change, but I wasn't sure what to do. I had really young kids at home. I didn't want to, rock the boat.
Mm.
Uh, and during COVID, something changed. I felt like I needed a change, and with the quiet and the peaceful and the time I had to think about what I want to do next, I've decided after supporting people voluntarily for so many years and helping them settle in, and people got me connected to other people who moved here and they needed support and advice and how to how to find a house, how to get kids into school, how to open a bank account. I said, why am I not asking for money for this? Why am I not making it as a business? Obviously, there's a gap in the market for it.
Yeah.
So I've decided during COVID, let's give it a go. So I juggled it with TK Maxx for 2 years because it was hard to let go of TK Maxx. But then a force from above came to a situation where my department was made redundant,
Yeah.
and then this is it. I'm not looking for a different job in TK Maxx. I'm gonna be 100% in my business, and the rest is history.
And the rest really is history. And today, when you have sort of clients and contacts, what are the kind of questions that they're asking when it comes to relocation? What are the biggest concerns, worries, issues that they're raising with you, Dana?
That's a very good question. It really depends where they come from. I
Mm,
would say most of my clients are Israelis because it's easier for them to speak with me in their native language, and I can also, it's easier for them to get a bridge of gapping the of bridging the gap between the cultural and the differences between the two countries. Um, but I also work with people who come from the States and Australia, everyone from usually English speaking countries.
yeah.
But I think the main concern, it also depends on like their st family status. If they come with kids, everyone, the first question is like, what do we do with the kids? How,
Yes.
yeah, I mean, the Israelis obviously English is not their first language, so they're very concerned with the English support that the kids will get at school.
Mm,
Um, and people who come from English speaking countries, they would think about like some places in the world are very strict with the school enrollment. Like you can only enroll, you can only start school in a one date and not throughout the year.
mm.
So they are quite concerned about the deadline because in the UK you cannot get a child into school until you have a home and you have a proof of address. So it's things that are very, very scary to them, that the fact that maybe the kids will not settle in and they will not have a routine. But I would say the main concern is money.
Mm.
Okay. London is very well known for being quite expensive place to
Yes.
live in. And even if usually when someone relocates here, especially if they are a couple and they're used to a joint not a joint income,
Mm.
then someone is losing their job. So they kind of like need to work on one income household. So that puts a lot of pressure on a family, and this is also something that scares them, and
Yeah.
also personal safety. Okay, they want
Yeah.
to know it's a big city. Sometimes people come from very rural areas from where they come from, and personal safety in a big city. Not everyone thinks sometimes when they move here that we all live in central London, like Oxford Street, Tottenham Court Road, so where everything is
Just
buzzing. But
imagine.
most of us we live zones three and up and up.
Yeah.
And things are much more suburban, are much more quiet, are much more relaxed, and obviously there's crime everywhere,
Mm.
but because in every place around the world. But it's not as scary as it might seem when people relocate to a big city like London.
Yeah, absolutely. And within that, there's also the element of creating a new role for yourself, getting to know the new location, but also whether you're in a more a freelance role, if you're working for a company, you're starting something up yourself, there's always this element of personal branding as well, and being able to fit in to the environment that you've got yourself, but also with more and more people working sort of remotely, the kind of the digital networking elements as well, which are equally important, Dan. And how do you get to grips with that, both in your own personal situation as well as from a relocation perspective?
Um, wow. I'll break it down to a few because it's a big thing.
Yes,
Um, I think personal. You want to start with personal branding? What you want
yes,
to start? Okay. I think personal branding in what I do is, I mean, everyone needs personal branding. I think at the end
yeah,
of the day, even LinkedIn is personal branding.
mm,
It's a professional personal branding. So I think everyone needs it if they want to find a job, or if they want to, even if they want to make friends. Okay. At the end of the day, people talk. They talk behind your back about who you are and what you stand for, even if it's from a personal approach, or if it's from a professional approach.
yeah,
Um, but I think when you deal with people, and when you're not working in a technical position where you're just, working on a computer all day, but you have to provide service and support, especially I consider myself to be a relocation doula. Okay. If people don't know what a doula is someone who supports a couple during childbirth,
right,
because it's not a nurse, it's not a midwife, but there's a lot of technical information that they need to
mm,
understand, someone to help them, understand what they are talking about at the hospital. And also there's holding the space for them emotionally, because it's a very emotional experience.
mm,
And then when someone is relocating, it's the same thing. There's a lot of technical things, and there's also a lot of emotional things around it.
yeah,
It brings a lot of stress. It pushes couples to the limits. It can throw the family to the extreme situation of adapting. Um, and I think for me, the personal branding is about being the person that they can trust.
yeah,
It's not just giving you money for services, is that they know that even if it's too much for them and they cannot afford it, they know it was money well spent and they couldn't have done it without it.
yeah,
So that's the personal branding for me. Like when someone tells me, I didn't think I'm going to need a relocation support, but I'm so happy that I did, because I don't know how I could have done it without you. This
mm,
is this is my personal branding, and this is how I know people are trusting me, and they feel like their trust wasn't being taken advantage of.
yeah,
So I think when you work with people, building this trust and knowing that you are the person who will help them support all they need, um, be there for them when they need to, and give them like very accurate information and professional information. You're not just like, throwing answers and this is the right place to go. You become an authority for things, and it becomes a word of mouth. So you don't even have to work hard to get clients,
yeah,
because when people are happy, they'll share it.
mm,
Also, when they're unhappy, they will share it. But
twice as much.
yes, but when they're happy and they want to spread the word, they will be the best ambassadors for your brand.
Yes.
Um, and I mean, as a small business, I'm not talking about brands like, Nike, Google. I'm not talking
Mm,
about, as a small business owner, for me, that was like recreating my brand, and people always connect my name with relocation. It's, I feel like it was a hard work, but it got me to a place where I can, it's priceless.
yeah. Yeah. And I think that element of word of mouth is the most strong and the most integral part of branding as well, because it doesn't matter what we say, how much marketing spend we have. It's really the personal stories and the value and impact that you can actually create for individuals in this space. That's the real test of the value that you can bring to bear for partners in these spaces. And I think, as you say as well, there, Dana, it's such an emotional journey as well. It's not just sort of the facts and figures and when and where to move. There's so many feelings and emotions involved in this as well. And to get that right and to be a trusted advisor in those kind of situations is absolutely crucial.
Yeah, I agree. I feel very lucky. It's something that thankfully comes naturally to me. So I found my place. Like I
Yes.
don't feel like I had to. I don't feel like I'm working hard. I'm enjoying my job because it comes naturally to me. So it took
Yeah.
me a really long journey to understand what is my personal strength, the things that I was born with, in order to do something that I thoroughly enjoy. So even though I work very hard, I enjoy every second of it.
Yeah, well, that's brilliant. I think matching your skills and expertise and sort of human behavioral strong points with a role that you can actually sort of profile yourself and create a brand, but also earn money from. I think is the sort of the key sweet spot if we want to think about these kind of turns, Dana.
Definitely. I always say to people when they come to me, like usually, and unfortunately, when families come to me or couples come to me, usually if it's the women are the ones who are leaving their job behind. I mean, statistically,
Okay.
it happens in the world.
Yeah.
80% of the relocations done around the world is is
Okay.
moved by men. It's not that women don't get the opportunity or don't get asked for relocation for job. It's just that they are much more reluctant to move their family and
Yeah.
to make changes to the husband's, I don't know, work and career path. They take into consideration the whole family more than the men. Men are much more driven,
Mm.
and are much and the women are much more inclined to support them. Statistically, this is how it works. So when
Yeah.
women come to me and they say, "Listen, I've done this, I've done that, I'm very well experienced, so I need to find a new job in the UK." It's not easy. The UK market is not easy.
Yeah.
Uh, and unless you work in a very a global company or global skills, you need your experience to come from the UK in order to get a proper
Yeah.
job. So usually
Yeah.
women need to go downgrade into more junior position, even though they were in senior positions. So I tell them just, use this opportunity to reinvent yourself, rebrand yourself,
Yes.
find something that might work best for you. Think about your natural skills, things about things that you are good at, things that you love. Maybe you can bake cakes now and sell
Mm.
them. Who knows? If you always love being in the kitchen, maybe, use it and
Yeah.
monetize it. So I personally think that for me it worked the best, like working with my natural abilities rather with my degree from university.
Yeah, exactly. And there seems to be more and more people who are actually finding this path in life as well, Dan. And I think sometimes it's creating the opportunities for yourself, but also I think equally it's just having the bravery and the courage and backing yourself to say, look, I want to try something different. This is an opportunity now to be able to try it. And I think that your story I think is really inspirational in terms of you just didn't do it a big bang moment one Monday morning. You actually sort of ran the sort of the full-time job and the new role in parallel for a while as well. Of course, it's a lot more stress and it's a lot more things to think about. But I think sort of this testing beta model first before fully launching, I think is a great way to get get your feet before you actually jump in properly into the new space.
Yeah, it takes a leap of faith. I remember chatting about it with my partner. He's like, Dana, just do it. It's holding you back. Look how well you're doing with just doing it part-time. Just cut the cord, okay? We will
Yeah.
manage. You need your partner's support also to that. It doesn't come,
Yes.
it's not very easy to make this decision knowing that you are giving away an established job, a
Yeah.
guaranteed paycheck at the end of the month.
Yes.
But he was right. He saw what I
Mm.
couldn't see out of fear. He said, "You are doing so well, and just, it's holding you back. Imagine what you can do if you have 5 days a week to do
Yeah.
it."
Yeah.
Um,
Absolutely. And I think that
So
support structure is really important to have around you because some people, as you say, they may have the best ideas in the world, the best intentions, but it's taking that first step, let alone the first leap, to be
yeah,
able to do that. And there'll always be 100 reasons why you shouldn't do something, but it's great to
yeah.
have the sort of the insights and support to be able to say, look, just take this step, see what happens, and then pivot if necessary as you move along.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. And I think if we're basing on this, because it was going back to your previous question about networking
Yeah,
and building your personal brand, I think if anyone who's relocating, listening to this podcast, I think networking and they're looking for a new job, new opportunity, you need to understand that you are building yourself, your social network from zero.
yeah.
You don't have your school friends, you don't have the friends you went to uni with, you don't have the family friends. You need to start building this up. So some people are like, "Oh no, I'm so bad at networking. I'm so bad at going to these events. I'm so bad at chit chat."
Yeah.
It's a skill. You can sharpen it. It's not something that comes naturally to anyone. It never came naturally to me. I would say I had the stage fright.
Okay.
Now I'm doing a podcast, so it's something that I would say people go out, go and do it. Just take a leap of faith in yourself. You'll be fine, and it can
Mm.
open so many opportunities once you keep doing it.
And I think that's the key thing. It's just sort of the belief, and I think there's very little in life, if anything, that gets worse by just doing it. And the more you get used to it, the more you get comfortable with it, and of course you get better at it as well. I think as time goes on. But I think it's right what you say. It's not something that's just natural. You have to force yourself. You have to push yourself a little bit sometimes, and make the steps that are necessary to be able to get yourself involved.
Yeah, growing pains. You cannot grow without it being painful. You just have to, a challenge, get outside the box, get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're not going to grow. It's
Yes.
something that I learned from owning a business because I didn't know it before.
Mm.
Uh, so I think anyone can really. I don't know many people who are good at networking. I don't know many people who would say that on about themselves.
Yeah.
Just do it because this is the way to think. It also like challenges your mind because you hear some other people's stories. They tell you their journeys. It
Yeah.
inspires you.
Yes.
So people are the most fascinating thing.
And also, I think if you're in a sort of, particularly if you're in a big city, there's so many opportunities every single day of the week. You just need to plug yourself into it. And it seems to be, certainly from my perspective anyway, the more you get involved, the more doors open up as well, which leads you to different places and they open up and you're taken on this path just by daring to have the courage and actually make that first initiative.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Do you do a lot of networking outside the UK as well?
Yeah, very much so. All over Europe, particularly Western Europe, but also increasingly into the eastern states and the south. And of course, the ways of networking are quite different, but it still all begins with just getting out there and kissing a few frogs, as they say in the trade. Not every single thing you go to is going to be fantastic. Not every
Yeah.
time you go to a cocktail, a reception, an event, are you going to meet thousands of fantastic contacts? But it's just by sort of slowly chipping away that the results are actually made like that. And I think that's the key to it. There's no there's no real silver bullet. You just need to have that sort of intensity and the quantity, and actually just get yourself involved and put yourself in a place, and have a few interesting things to say is usually helpful as well on most occasions.
It's like they say that the royal family are very good in making really small conversations, like very
Yes,
that we need maybe there's a tutorial on YouTube from Prince Charles from King Charles about how to make chit chat and be nice and kind
probably.
for a very short period of time. Uh,
Yeah.
but how do you feel about paying for a networking event?
I think it really depends on the situation. I think it's more of the setup that I think these things should be open and free given the fact I know when I do sort of events myself, I don't charge people to be there. I think it's sharing in terms of knowledge and content, but also opening up in terms of the event, whether it's always try and give something in terms of knowledge and expertise as well as the networking opportunities. So I'm a bit the same thing that if someone's going to charge me to actually be at something, I tend to say no. I think these things should normally be open in terms of fees because you're giving up your time, you're giving your expertise, you're actually sort of taking part. And I think that is that is the price tag for the individual to be there as well. So I'm not really a strong advocate for sort of paying to play in these kind of situations.
I agree with you. I'm the same. I think I've been to many networking events, paid and unpaid, and
Yeah,
I think it makes no difference. And so just might as well just make it open for everyone and make it accessible for everyone.
yeah,
Because sometimes some people cannot actually afford it, but they really need this
yes,
atmosphere. They really need the connection. They cannot keep paying 15, 20 pounds every time they go out
yeah,
just to meet other people.
yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
so yeah, I'm with you on that.
I think it's the way it needs to be done, and I think also that you can actually do the sort of the social media, writing articles, sharing knowledge and expertise, which I think is a great starting point. But
Yeah.
it's kind of the thing that the more technology we have, the more valuable it is for that personal interactions and personal contact. And I think that it's great to have the technology to be able to sort of fill in the gaps, Dana, but it's vital to have the sort of the face to face whenever possible.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just thinking, like, if you're talking about personal brand and the age of I would say, okay, someone might be able at some point go on ChatGPT or whatever
Mm.
other AI tool and ask all the questions they ask me, and they will get a response. But it's not going to
Yes.
be a loving response. No one is going to hold their hand when things go south.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
also about the human connection, and it's also about, making a connection with someone in a networking event like we did.
Yes,
And look what
exactly.
it opened a collaboration of a really great podcast. And you can never know
Exactly.
where it's going to lead you.
You never know where it's going to lead you. And I think that sort of, I'm a strong advocate as well, Dana, of saying yes to things. And I think that the more times you say yes, it leads you down a different path and opens up a huge number of opportunities and possibilities. So I think this is something that's absolutely crucial to be curious, to stay interested, and to follow your sort of passions and ideas along the way as well.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. It's all about
Yeah,
people and connection. Ditch AI.
yeah,
I'm not saying ditch it. Like ditch the emotional connection with
yeah,
tools, with things that bring barriers. Just connect. Just be with people. Imagine everything, like even the reel, even an Instagram post. Everything is about evoking emotion. If you cannot
yeah.
evoke emotion from the reader, they're not gonna stay on your channel.
They're
So
not.
so if it's all about emotion, just meet each other, hold
Yeah.
hands, look in each other's eyes. This is what makes it work. So
Yes.
yeah, this is the tip of the day. Go out.
I think it's great tips to have as well, and especially that the things that humans can do well that computers and technology aren't so good at yet. I think it's those soft skills and the emotional intelligence. I still think a one step ahead, and the differentiator for us in a lot of the personal and professional relationships that we can create.
Couldn't agree with you more.
Excellent. Well, Dana, it's fantastic to speak to you. I really love the sort of the insights that you have, and of course the great work that you're doing. And I think you're a perfect role model of following your dreams and making them happen, and how you can have your sort of skills, knowledge, and expertise can align with value creation and revenue streams as well. So, thank you for sharing the thoughts and sharing your personal journey as well.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. And I'll see you around in another networking event probably.
Thank you, Dana. You certainly will.
Bye.
Bye now.